What time is it? It's Packard Folks at time. Hat? Check. Shirt? Check. Pants? Optional. Mug? Double check. Check us out at cafepress.com/PackardPokesat where you can get all this great merchandise and more.
Do you like Packard Pokesat and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
This is Packard Pokesat, and I'm poking at your news. Hello, everybody. This is Packard Pokesat, the midweek show. This is season 6, episode 23. Did I say peach? I said impeach. Matt, do you have a story for us tonight?
Yes, I have several stories.
I'm glad somebody else is going to talk tonight because I'm a little under the weather today.
Peru fans are using fireworks and curses to make New Zealand's World Cup hopes disappear.
That's funny.
What are they, magicians? They just gonna just gonna snap their fingers and go poof?
Actually, you know, let me give you a little background here. What they're doing is actually not that unheard of. When the Chinese invented fireworks and things like that, they invented gunpowder. They actually would do stuff like that, what they thought would scare away curses and bad spirits and things. So this is actually right in line with something that's from the early dynasties of China.
Okay, well, that explains a lot of it.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
There's one spot left on the 2018 FIFA World Cup, and Peru hosts New Zealand Wednesday night for the second leg of the CONMEBOL Interconfederation playoffs. The two sides head into the final game tied 0-0 on aggregate, but the Peruvians are going all out to make the most of their home field advantage. On the eve of the game, the New Zealand national team was treated to an impressive fireworks display outside their hotel.
Well, you know, that sounds like a fun thing. It's like, hey, we're going to celebrate. We are so confident we're going to win that we're going to pre-celebrate, right?
I guess. But then it also says here, a snake charmer in Peru has put a hex on the team in a bid to stop them from winning tomorrow's World Cup qualifying match in Lima. And there are signs it could be working. The All Whites have faced a strange set of logistical nightmares. Their flight was delayed, and so was their bus.
Coincidence.
Yeah. Shamans outside the stadium told News Hub that their rituals involving snakes and flowers will give the home team the spiritual strength to beat New Zealand.
By the way, that's shamans, actually.
Oh, shamans. Okay. Australia secured its spot in the World Cup Wednesday, leaving just one spot left.
Oh, no. That's just too funny.
Yeah, it is. I mean, snake charmers?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
wow.
All right, let's just put this into context here for a second. They think that because they do a thing, that doesn't mean anything. That's like Christians saying, if I pray really hard, then I'm going to get my wish. This is no better than wishing with ornaments and things. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's just so funny. I mean,
yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's voodoo and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be there.
Yeah, well, logistical nightmares happen all the time. I mean, just what I do, we have logistical nightmares all the time. It happens like every few weeks. And I'm sure that these people don't look at the number of times that their buses have been late and they've had their flights delayed and they still won the game or they didn't win the game and there was no snake charmer involved. That doesn't mean anything. It's a thing. It just happens. That's like religious people that say, we're praying for the hurricane to hit somewhere where there's gay people. Well, California is still there, hurricane free.
So is Miami.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because, real quick, with me being from Chicago and me being a diehard Chicago Cubs fan, it's always the GOAT. I'm sure you've heard of the GOAT.
No.
Well, whenever the Cubs are in the playoffs, somebody brings an actual GOAT.
Really?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be the curse. It's the curse of the GOAT.
Never heard of this.
And let me tell you, every year they've done it, it has worked, except for last year because they didn't bring it in. They won the World Series last year. Now, I don't know if they brought it in this year because the Cubs just sucked at the end here. But yeah, they call it the curse.
The only curse involving sports I ever heard of was the one where the Cubs apparently had a curse placed on them back in 1912 because somebody caught a foul ball or something like that. I'm sure some baseball fan out there who's actually watches the show is going to go, no, Packard, it's not from that. It's from, I don't remember it completely. Excuse me. I apologize. All I know, it has something to do with pissing off somebody that caught a baseball. And
actually, that happened in 2003 when the Cubs were in the playoffs. They were actually winning, and there was a gentleman in the stands who caught a foul ball because the player that was trying to catch it almost had it, and this guy stuck his hand out and caught it. And
I thought that went back a lot further. I thought it went back.
No, that was back in 2003. I was actually watching it. I was at a Kmart one night, and I was over by the TVs, and everybody was watching the game, and I saw this happen. They called it the Bartman ball. The guy's name was Steve Bartman, the one that was in the stands who caught the ball, and everybody wanted to kill this guy. I mean, I think he had like special protection because he was like the most wanted guy in the city of Chicago.
Oh,
yeah, it was really bad. A lot of people were ticked off. Even the player that was trying to catch the ball was even yelling at the guy.
All right, I'm looking that up. It says the curse of the Billy Goat. Is that what that is? The curse of the Billy Goat?
Yeah, the Billy Goat. That's been a curse for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, the person that caught the foul ball was back in 2003.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia here. It says the curse of the Billy Goat was a sports-related curse supposedly placed on the Chicago Major League Baseball franchise in 1945. Billy Goat Tavern owner William Sanis. The curse lasted 71 years from 45 to 2016. I said like 1912 or something like that. I was way off, but it did go back quite a ways. So I wasn't completely off. So the start date on that
71-year curse. And, last year, of course, the Cubs won the World Series.
Yeah, because I don't feel 71 years old. I mean, today I feel a little bit closer to that.
I feel like I'm 107, so.
I know. You have another story for us.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Alrighty. Australians decisively support same-sex marriage.
Woohoo!
Cool. Australians have overwhelmingly voted in favor of legalizing same-sex marriage in a historic poll. The non-binding postal vote showed 61.6% of people favor allowing same-sex couples to wed, the Australian Bureau of Statistics said.
I just want to stop for a second. There was a big kerfuffle in the atheist community between Bering and I think Logic. Maybe Logic was involved in this. I don't know. But I know there was several other people. But Bering was saying, because apparently he lives down in Australia, saying that he would vote no on gay couples being able to marry. And there was, like I said, there was a big brouhaha on this because they were thinking that maybe he was being a bigot about it. And he tried to justify what he said with a bunch of weird arguments. And I remember seeing it. I just don't remember all the arguments. It was months ago when I saw this last. So excuse me if I don't have all the facts right at my fingertips on this. But it's nice to see that even though he said he was going to vote no, it still passed. Now, from what I understand, this is just going to go to so the Australians can vote on being able to allow gay marriage, not necessarily that they're allowing it directly yet.
Right. Jubilant supporters have been celebrating in public spaces, waving rainbow flags and singing and dancing. A bill to change the law was introduced into the Senate late on Wednesday. It will now be debated for amendments. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said his government would aim to pass legislation in Parliament by Christmas, which isn't that far away.
Yeah, it's really coming up.
Australians have spoken in their millions, and they have voted overwhelmingly yes for marriage equality, Mr. Turnbull said after the result was announced. They voted for fairness, yes for commitment, and yes for love. The issue only went to a voluntary postal vote after a long and bitter debate about amending Australia's Marriage Act.
Yeah, this has not been made law yet.
No.
But the fact is that the people that are in Australia overwhelmingly said, yeah, we don't mind having people being gay married. I mean, 61.6%. That's
over half.
That's way over half. Well, over half anyway.
Australia, it's almost isn't it bigger than the United States or almost as big?
The landmass is, yes. But as far as population wise, it's way smaller than for the whole continent, for the United States.
Right.
But I mean, still 61%, almost 62% there is still statistically significant anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also says here that more than 12.7 million people, about 79.5% of eligible voters, took part in the 8-week poll, which asked one question: should the marriage law be changed to allow same-sex couples to marry? The Yes campaign argued that it was a debate about equality. The No campaign put the focus on the definition of family, raising concerns about how issues like gender will be taught in schools.
I think that was one of the arguments that Bering used.
Of course, there's always going to be some kind of an argument, regardless of the situation. The no's are going to say, I mean, it's like here in the United States, all the camaraderie about that was going on about gay marriage. And then it went to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court said, well, marriage has to be legal across the board. So now it's legal in all 50 states, but there's also other loopholes that they can do. And
there are people that think that there are loopholes so they can get away with not issuing marriage licenses to gay people. Take Kim Davis, for example. She challenged the Supreme Court, which was the rule of the land. She thought she could override the Supreme Court by going to her state's Supreme Court, which is like trying to say, I'm going to run a tank over with a toy car. And I'm not talking a toy tank. I'm talking a full size.
Right. No, I totally agree with what you're saying.
Just for our listeners, it's just like,
well, and some people think they're above the law.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because of my, religious beliefs or whatnot, I can just deny you that. Well, no, you can't.
Yeah. I saw this great meme just this morning. It shows two people talking and it says, this is okay, saying I can't do a thing because my religion says so. That's fine. If your religion says you can't do a thing because your religion says so, then that's up to you to do that. But you can't say you can't do that thing because my religion says so. That's not okay.
Right. And people still do it.
Yeah, they still try. And as a matter of fact, one of the people who was doing the same thing Kim Davis is doing is Roy Moore, and he is in a heap of hot water right now.
So that guy. Ooh,
yeah.
The RNC, they're like saying, dude, hello.
Yeah, they want him to pretty much drop out. I mean, but if they said if he gets in, they're going to...
Oh, they're going to blackball him if he gets in.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're not going to just blackball him, but I mean, they're going to kick him out. I mean, it'll be the first time it's happened since the Civil War, from what I understand. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe he will save being disgraced this badly and just quit. But I don't suspect this guy is that intelligent to do that. So he's going to push on until he tries to get in or whatever. And you know what's infuriating about that? I'm sorry, we're kind of switching topics here. What's infuriating about that is the Christian right doesn't care. They say what he did, dating very young women, I mean, teenagers, when he was in his 20s or 30s or no, his 30s. And they think that's okay. And I'm like thinking, you guys are the people of superior morals? I think not.
Wasn't he a prosecutor?
Yeah, he was. He was a district attorney.
Yeah, he was a district attorney. I mean, come on. I just love it when these people who are in power, again, they're above the law.
Yeah.
They're trying to enforce the law, but on the other side of it, while they're enforcing the law, they're breaking it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
While we are poking at your news, you can poke us at Facebook and Twitter, or poke us with an email at ppapodcast@gmail.com, or leave us a message at 662-709-PPAP. Join us live on YouTube/Packard Pokesat on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Be part of the conversation by live chatting with us during the show. Enjoy the show? Help support us by becoming a monthly patron at patreon.com/PackardPokesat, or look awesome by buying something at cafepress.com/PackardPokesat. No money, no problem. You can help us by sharing the show with friends and rate us on iTunes and Stitcher. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
The Atheists,
the Bible,
and No Wardrobe, the podcast.
Wait a minute. No wardrobe? You mean we're going to be naked while we do this?
Well, seeing how I'm an atheist and I'm reading the Bible, and since clothes are flammable...
Fire! Fire! Fire!
I thought it might be a good idea to take them all off first.
Naked or not, follow along as we read, analyze, and try to keep you from falling asleep as we go through this boring-ass book.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. Who knows? We may even be on YouTube someday.
I got a story here. Volkswagen and Google to bring quantum computing to benefit cars. Well, that's what we need, is a quantum computer in our car. I'm sorry, Dave. I can't drive you there.
I don't go that route.
I don't go that way. I'm sorry. I'm getting into my...
I go the other way.
I'm sorry, my mind's getting all dirty now.
Mine too.
Yeah, computers have changed the cars so much that they've changed our daily lives, which is true. But a new partnership between Google and Volkswagen could transform transportation still further. The two are collaborating on how to apply quantum computing to solve fundamental car-related problems, including optimizing traffic flow, making machine learning more intelligent, and helping to crack the issue of building new battery technologies that can extend the range and improving charging rates. So that's basically for people who have electric cars. And, you know, I would love to have an electric car, but that's just not in my budget. My budget is rent and then a food. So because I can't and electricity, right? Of course, quantum computing isn't a magic panacea that can deliver all the above with just a flick of a switch. Oh, you can't? Oh, come on, please. Just flick a switch, you just make it happen. But it can calculate more efficiently than traditional computer, which is great for dealing with high volume work like artificial intelligence and running simulations. Roadshow experts that the collaborative effort is showing to add a number of elements into the mixture of figuring out traffic optimization, including availability of EV charging spots and parking spaces, for example. So I was thinking that more along the lines when I was reading this, I was thinking that they're going to be putting quantum computers in the car. I don't not foresee that happening, actually. Because, I mean, there's a lot of cars out there with computer brain boxes and whatnot in there to just do simple things, simple procedures, even just to, or even like the steering, for example, braking, driving, all that stuff. I mean, there has been a lot of videos out there how they can hack a car while you're either in the car with somebody that's doing it, which is, you know, a little less hidden anyway. But then there's the ones that with the internet that's connected to the cars going outward, those cars are able to be hacked as well. I mean, there's been videos about people saying, okay, we're on remote, I can access the car. I'm in a studio 100 miles away or whatever, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to like, I hit the brakes and the car starts slowing down. It's like, I'm not even touching the brakes. I'm actually hitting the accelerator. None of that stuff's connected anymore. It's all done by wire.
Right. Well, also, you know, there are a lot of cars that now have in-car Wi-Fi, like General Motors.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty scary thought, you know? I mean, somebody sucks on your Wi-Fi and can, you know, get into your car's computer and do whatever they want.
Yeah, unlock the doors, steer the car left, steer the car right.
Yeah, and you have no control over it. It's like,
yeah, you're just a passenger at that point.
Yeah,
so.
Driverless car.
Yeah, well, in that regard, it would be. I mean, well,
it's somebody else would be doing it, but you wouldn't be doing the driving.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, actually. Oh, I have another story. Tony was going to be on with us tonight, but unfortunately, he had a last-minute emergency he had to take care of, so he was not with us tonight. But he dropped us this story here, and I want to cover that really quick here. A U.S. bus company's rejection of an atheist ad sparks a lawsuit. This was a big news a couple of years ago that there was a bus company that basically would not put the word atheist in a billboard at all on the side of their bus. And their reasoning, quote unquote, was that they wouldn't do it because of the word atheist. They thought that if someone saw the word atheist, that people would vandalize the bus. And they were actually, at first, they said they would do it, but they wanted to charge a higher rate because of alleged vandalism that they thought was going to happen. They took them to court over that. And the residents in Scranton, Pennsylvania are such a godly bunch, so devout in the fact that their local bus company rejected the ad, which is, it just says atheists. That's it. It doesn't say atheists are coming for your children. It doesn't say atheists are going to eat your babies. It doesn't say atheists, God is dead. It just says atheists. It's just a word. But apparently it's enough to scare the Christians.
Well, they think what? They think we're the devil or something?
Well, is my horn showing? Are my horns showing? I just, you know.
Is that why my headphones don't fit right? Oh, man.
That's why. I told you.
I
tell you. I said get those filed down, man.
Yeah, I tried.
But anyway, this happened back in 2015. The rejection of the ad led by the county of Lackawanna. Wow, that's a weird county's name. Lackawanna Transit System. Colts occurred back in 2015, as I just said. And shortly thereafter, the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, filed a lawsuit against Colts. But the case had only come to federal court. Now, yesterday, according to this report, lawyers representing the ACLU, Justin Vekala of NEPA, Free Thought Society alleged that the rejection was a violation of the atheist group's right to free speech. Vacula said, in this area, religion is particularly popular, and the viewpoint of atheists or secularists is very unpopular. That's an uphill climb, man. That is really an uphill climb. As an organization, we're seeking to provide a community of supports and have our face in the public. Colts argued that the advertisement violated a policy set up in 2013, which prohibited ads that specifically mentioned politics or religion, among other things. The bus company argues its policy is reasonable because it worries about heated debates or even fights breaking out. The ad was shown on several bus riders in Scranton on Monday who weighed in on the issue. Raymond Warman of Carbondale said, that could be taken several ways. I see why it would be offensive to some people, and they want to give Colts hell, and Colts doesn't want to start that. That's not their fault, then. It's really not their fault. They're just putting up a word. If you go crazy over that, that's your fault. That's not the atheist's fault. That's not the bus's fault. That's your fault at that point.
Right. Well, it's like that the shooter who shot up that church in Texas last weekend.
You mean Blinky? I'm not using the guy's name. I'm not going to use the guy's name. I'm just going to call him Blinky.
Yeah, well, whatever his name was. Apparently, he was an atheist, I guess.
Yeah, he was an atheist, and they were saying that he shot it up because of his religious reasons. The police even said that it wasn't for religious reasons. It was a domestic dispute, period.
Right. I guess he was getting back at his mother-in-law or something for something.
Yeah, he was angry with his mother-in-law for some reason, and he thought that she was going to be there. Apparently, she wasn't. So,
right. But apparently, now people are saying, oh, he was an atheist, so all atheists are bad, and we're all murderers, blah, blah, blah. And, it's like, oh, come on. Really?
That's why the prisons are filled with Christians who shot up places because of atheism. Oh, no, that's Christianity. Oh, no, never mind. It doesn't matter if it's Christian or not. I mentioned that to somebody online a while back where I said that, that's why the prison population is predominantly Christian. And this liar goes, oh, well, they were all atheists when they entered. What?
Really?
Yeah, that was his excuse. He's like, oh, they were all atheists when they entered. They were all atheists when they did those crimes. They're Christians now. Because they're Christians now, they're better now. I'm like, being a Christian doesn't make you good. Just like being an atheist doesn't make you smart. It just makes you say that I don't believe in your claims. That's all.
Yeah, they're just trying to give us a bad name.
Yeah. The article here continues. While some people took issue with the proposed ad, others didn't, and they felt that it should have run. Ellen Masters of Scranton said, just like anyone else, they can advertise. I don't know what the problem is. I'm with her. I'm with Ellen on this. What's the big deal?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not using it to hurt anybody physically, right, or or slander.
Exactly. And atheism isn't a religion. And the fact is that they use the argument that saying that you can't put up religious items on their buses. Well, that doesn't apply there because atheist is not a religion. If they had put up the words I don't believe, or I don't believe you, or I don't believe your claim, would they had a problem with that? It would have been a little bit longer, but it would have still been the word atheist.
It would have revert back to atheist.
Right, exactly. Now, I do want to continue on this real quick here because we are closing out on our time here. The judge on Monday declared Colts advertising policy unconstitutional, but it's likely the decision won't be made at least until early 2018. The judge gave lawyers on both sides time to file legal arguments before he makes the final decision. I really hope they win their lawsuit because this is important because we should and we do have the same rights as religious people do. And again, the word atheist doesn't mean anti-God. It just means I don't believe your claim, period. According to the article here, some people were saying that they thought that maybe this might start discussion on some things. It says one of the biggest Christian lessons, I think, is to always accept other people, trust your neighbor, and build a community. This guy's obviously Christian and he doesn't have a problem with it. So again, if you're out there and you think that this word is going to cause problems or whatever, that's on them. That's not on you. You don't get to charge them extra for that either.
Right.
I'd be more concerned if they had a half naked person on there, people trying to go and complain about that or trying to take the picture down so they could like put it in their bedroom or something.
I'm going to take this naked picture and I'm going to put it in my room.
Exactly.
I don't want to know what you're going to do with it, dude.
It's almost life size.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, put the holes in the right places and just, One quick story here. Since this does say impeach, I do want to talk about Trump just really briefly here. This is Trump and Twitter Trump's blocking people from his Twitter account violates the First Amendment, the EFF tells the court. Agencies and officials' social media posts are vital communications that can't be denied to people whose views officials don't like. New York, President Donald Trump, every time I say that, I just want to vomit. Blocking people on Twitter who criticize him violates their constitutional rights to receive government messages transmitted through social media and participate in forums created by them, the Electronic Frontier Foundation told the court today. The public agencies and officials from city mayors and county sheriff's offices to U.S. secretaries of state and members of Congress routinely use social media to communicate opinions, official positions, services, and important public safety and policy messages. Twitter has become a vital communications tool for government, allowing local and federal officials to transmit information when natural disasters such as hurricanes and wildfires strike, hold online town halls, and answer citizens' questions about programs. Trump's frequent use of Twitter to communicate policy decisions, air opinions on local and global events and leaders, and broadcast calls for congressional action has become a hallmark of his administration. In July, the Knights First Amendment Institute filed suit in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York, alleging that the president and his communications team violated the First Amendment by blocking 7 people from the @RealDonaldTrump Twitter account because they criticized the president or his policies. The 7 individuals include a university professor, a surgeon, comedy writer, I wonder who that is, a community organizer, author, a legal analyst, and a police officer. Oh, Donald.
Wow.
I thought you were all for the police. You're blocking the police? Come on, Don. Don't block the...
Good, man.
What about the blue? Come on now. It's all about the boys in blue.
That's right. Come on, 9/11.
Although all those buzzwords that they use.
Yeah.
In a brief file today, the side of the plaintiffs, the EFF maintains that President Trump's use of his Twitter account akin to past presidents' adoption of new communication technologies to engage directly with the public. Franklin Roosevelt uses fireside chats with Americans over the radio while president debates began being televised in the 1960s. It would be impermissible for a president to block certain individuals from receiving their messages, whether they're delivered by bullhorn, radio, or television. It should be the same for communication delivered by Twitter. I completely agree on that point. If, for example, that they went around to say, okay, you can't hear this message because I don't like your policies or I don't like your opinion of me, and you don't get to listen to what I have to say, then that would be a First Amendment right. If you're in the government and you're putting out information about the government, or even if it's about Donald taking a dump on his toilet, which I'm sure that tweet's coming.
Well, they happen every night usually. The 2:30 in the morning dump, and he just pulls out his phone and starts tweeting. When he's taking a dump, probably.
But I'm saying is,
so the people who are, being blocked, they're trying to dump on Trump. No pun intended.
Yeah, but I mean, what I was saying is, I'm waiting for the tweet to come out and say, "I'm actually in the bathroom taking a dump right now," or something.
That would be funny.
It would be incredibly funny, and I'm fully expecting it to happen eventually because this guy he's lost his marbles.
Actually, I would like it if you would do it on Facebook Live.
Hello from the Oval Office bathroom. I'm Donald Trump.
And in the background, you hear,
oh, that's a 2-flusher. Anyway, all right. Well, we got to get out of here. I want to thank anybody that came to the live show or is watching this live. We'll be back on Friday with our Okay, Let's Talk. What we're going to talk about, I'm not exactly sure yet. I have some suggestions that we're going to be talking about at our staff meeting. If you'd like to make a donation to the show, go to paypal.me/PackardPokes. I could really use your help right now. I know this time of the year is really tight for everybody, especially me with my finances being limited as it is. If you could spare $1 or $2, go to paypal.me/PackardPokes and donate $1 or whatever you want. You could make it $1. You can make it $1 million. The range is open all the way through. If you're with the government and you know how to get out $1 billion to me, I'd be happy to take that too. It might take
that too.
It might take PayPal a little longer to process that. I might have to fill out an extra form or two. So, or if you want to go to a per episode donation on patreon.com/PackardPokes, that would be great as well. All right, we'll see you on Friday with our Okay, Let's Talk. You have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
And that's a wrap.